tunog English lang syempre, pero Tagalog yan. Hard at work sila. Narinig nyo naman may dinidemolish dito eh. So, I'll be right back. Okay. Hello? This should be good. Tapos na yung mga demolish. I'm taking on, back to the topic, I'm taking on this challenge of talking about syncretism, syncretists, inflection, gilid-gilid, sagad-sagad. Internationally, examples would be like international cultists or people who really talk bilingually or polyglots, diba? Yung mga maraming salita. Tapos pag magsalita sila, halo-halo yung diba? Halo-halo yung language. In song, this is usually practice as well. Lyricism, favorite example ko na gusto ko i-record is like yung sa Beatles, Michelle, My Belle, Son de Mots, Tribien, I'm butchering that. Tribien ensemble, Tribien, something like that, which means like these are words that when you translate it, Michelle, My Belle, parang sasabi niya, these are just words that go well together when I say it. And that's exactly what I think syncretists do.
はい。どうぞ。これは日本人クラックソロポッドキャストです。これに加えて FCI マンタネの類似様のブランドです。
はい。どうぞ。これは日本人クラックソロポッドキャストです。これに加えて NCI マンタネの類似様のブランドです。
Hello guys, my name is Rez and you're listening to Nihonjin Crack. Welcome back to the stream. Wala akong ibang sasabihin and record in this monologue, but just, the results of my thinking about meditating and following up on a video that I did a while back called The Merging, where I started looking out for or pointing out about syncretism, syncretismo. Yun yung decision ko recently kasi nahilig ako mag-record. And if you're a logger, sarap mag-record ng yung mga things na talagang iniisip mo na. Kasi minsan pag lumipas, hindi na yun yung iniisip mo sa certain na panahon. So ngayon, ang iniisip ko talaga lately, yung I even wrote about it, is syncretismo. Syncretism is defined as the amalgamation or the merging of either cultures, but more on like the inflections of languages. Meaning yung, pagka-translate ko nun, dahil pinag-isipan ko na talaga, yun yung either gilid-gilid or sagad-sagad ng mga culture. But it is a political ideology. Meaning, sabihin, pampolitiko. Pero meron din parang religious version eh. In yung religious version, yun na actually yung lagi naman pinag-usapan. So, dito ako mag-verge more on the political and how it relates to what I've been discussing or what I've been logging about, yung base Tagalog theory of everything ko rin na alam nyo na rin naman paano ginagamit. And I think has been used quite a while recently. Dahil sa nga na napakahirap ng maging totoo dun sa even Filipino speak or marketing speak. You see this around or hear it around in ads, advertising, marketing, how people write. Some people say that we are a print culture. Some people say that, argue that na parang dun talaga nagkakatirahan sa mga print stuff. Pero ako, I would argue also na hindi totoo yun. Talagang may mga napapakinggan na tao. May mga pinapakinggan kahit sino, kahit ako naman may pinapakinggan pa rin ako sa family and like, kahit hindi part ng family, pinapakinggan ko. Kahit taxi driver ng mga nakakausap ko minsan. This show is for everyone, this show is for people of all walks of life. Sasabi ko lagi, this is free content. Just because I could always turn on the mic and by tomorrow, dahil wala naman masyado pang alam yun, I'm not sure about the engagement of how this works. Pero nafe-feel ko or naisip ko at least in my mind that the listening has been going on. Nararamdaman ko rin naman either through my own filters or sa mga tao ko din. Kaya nga naging Mantaneno Richie. Ang sabihin naman kasi nun, pwede mo ring and forgive me for like having lots of disclaimers. Nandun din talaga ako sa phase na yun dahil hindi naman porque sinasabi ko yung, pinupoint out ko yung morality or wrong and right or left and right about something is that I'm not guilty of it also. Of course, I'm freaking guilty of syncretism. In fact, I would say that ang isa sa mga pinaka-legit na syncretist, si Jose Rizal, who's a national, here. I don't think I can do this now dahil may construction dito, dinidemolish isang bahay dito. I'll continue the intro after, but yeah, since nakakain na ata yung mga tao or hard at work sila, narinig yun naman may dinidemolish dito eh. So, I'll be right back. Okay. Hello? This should be good. Tapos na yung mga demolish. I'm taking on, back to the topic, I'm taking on this challenge of talking about syncretism, syncretists, inflection, gilid-gilid, sagad-sagad, na kulang, ideology, na pagkakulang, in the light of, not so political, although it is political, but in the light of, not also religious, but it also is religious, in the light of, how I discuss my theory, which is based Tagalog, na gagamitin natin yung word muna for now, na pang-break is yung mantane. Mantane means, invento ko lang din yun, pero kasi man is man, and tane means ship nga, diba? Or merch, or seed. So mantane kind of means also lordship, or manosphere. Yun actually yung talagang nun. And then I put that in as like Mantane no Ryuichi kasi nga bukod sa pangalan ko yun talaga yung lagi ko pinag-uusapan, yung growth, pati kalalakihan talaga. It is a problem. It is a problem for me. Like I always joke na, I mean, even though I have gay friends, you have a lot of gay friends, I think this is still also valuable, yung ganitong lower class type of content na nakakagamit tayo ng base Tagalog kasi pati Tagalog na rin, even though sobrang luma na rin yun. Anyway, yun nga. So, sinasabi ko dito, yung diba, meron akong inuulit lagi yung trending onomatopoeia when it comes to my theory. Yung trending onomatopoeia, yung bukod sa may onomatopoeic tayo ng mga lingwahe, katulad ng Nihongo, onomatopoeic language, meaning sound-based. What the sound means is what the word sounds like is the meaning sometimes. And then yung may trending pa, yung parang pinapatrend pa talaga yung mga bagay, meaning may waves, may mga bago, may mga peaks, inflections, literally. Now, when I say trending onomatopoeia, it's something that I don't yet know what really, yung nomenclature, meaning when I say nomenclature, tawag ko lang siya for something else, na in place of something else. And I'm trying to figure out maybe for this is it syncretism exactly that yun yung kalaban, or but I drew up in my notes that it's different because trending onomatopoeia is sound based, meaning if I say onomatopoeia, definitely plick plock plack boom, I think yung marami pang ina-explain sa Nihongo nga actually, yung pag ni-research mo talaga yung meaning ng word, talagang yun talaga ibig sabihin. Or that's why they also, even if they make it sound different, it becomes sarcastic or destructive or whatever because of onomatopoeia. And then may trending pa, laging may factor pa na nagtitrend talaga yung onomatopoeia. Nagtitrend talaga yung onomatopoeia paminsan-minsan. And if I compare that with, now that na-research na or nasabi nyo na yung hold on for a bit. Nalaman na natin yung meaning ng syncretismo, yung pagkagilid-gilid nga, yung mga sulok-sulok at sagad-sagad ng languages and merges in, amalgamations in culture. Internationally, examples would be like international cultists or people who really talk bilingually or polyglots, diba? Yung mga maraming salita. Tapos pag magsalita sila, halo-halo yung diba? Halo-halo yung language in song. This is usually practice as well, lyricism. Favorite example ko na gusto ko i-record is like, yung sa Beatles, Michelle, My Belle, Sonde mo, Tribien, and I'm butchering that. Tribien ensemble, Tribien, something like that, which means like these are words that, when you translate it, Michelle, My Belle, parang sinasabi niya, these are just words that go well together when I say it. And that's exactly what I think syncretists do, which is combining a lot of words that really are inflections, diba? Now, inevitably, nagiging problema yan sa mga immigrant-rich societies. And from what I know in our family, the immigrant-rich ports in the Philippines were ports where yung mga ship talaga yung dumadaong, yung mga, sabi nila, sa Cam Norte, may mga ship ng Grego, depende sa mga kung anong type of shipping businesses na dumarating sa different types na pulo-pulo. So meaning syncretism also would be the definition between rifts or inflection points between yung normal example na nag-uusap ang Tagalog at Bisaya. Diba? Dahil dati, bukod sa may rules yon, I mean like, meaning that when I say rules, like yung ang isang Bisayang marunong, hindi siya mag-Bisaya sa Tagalog. Diba? Pati yung Tagalog, hindi siya magtatagalog sa purong Kapampangan. Magtatanong muna siya kung ano yung kumbaga mag-uusap muna about linguistics kasi ang Tagalog ganun na talagang ano bang salita dito? Laging ganun, 'di ba? Or anong klaseng Tagalog yung sinasalita mo? Is it based? Is it like pure? Yung matumal, yung mapunto talaga, yung walang bawal mag-English, alam mo yun, yung talagang walang hybridized man lang or not even city. Hindi man lang parang walang bahid of city folk, city boyness. Yung fact na pag may iba kang dialect, wag mong sasalitain yung dialect mo pag may kaharap kang Tagalog, medyo bastos yun. Hindi lahat ng household tinuturo yun, pero I mean sa Tagalog households talaga, if you speak certain dialects na hindi naman recognized, not that it's not recognized, but hindi naman mainstream, don't even try because it would be the equivalent of some Chinese people na masama ugali speaking Chinese in front of you na okay lang kung pares kayong Chinoy, di ba? Kung hindi naman kayo pares Chinoy, pati alam mo yun, parang hindi, medyo mabastos talaga yun. So actually, coming from there, yung syncretismo bastos talaga yun. Sabihin ko lang, kailangan ko lang sabihin, di ba? And it's not that it's good or bad because it's bastos. Meaning, may sense of disrespect yun, may sense of kakulangan yun, yung syncretismo if you really are trying to look for, the meaning of inflection. Kasi parang bumabanking ka nga eh. Kung pag nag-uusap tayo or may kausap ka, parang kumbaga sa mga lugar na wild west, kunwari sa isang malapit na lugar dito na nagsisimula sa sea. Dati gumagatter ako doon, yun ang terminology namin, gumagatter. Lahat ng usapan doon medyo ganun, medyo pag-gutter talagang kumbaga yung sasabi nga ni Peterson na kahit ano naman yan kung pababa talaga yan, magtutuloy-tuloy yan bukod sa may gravity. Kung doon mo talaga gusto dalhin, tas slippery slope yun, di ba? Doon pupunta yun, diba? Bababa at bababa yun. Kailangan tinatrabaho natin yung sasabi rin niya na itaas na lang natin, diba? Kesa lahat tayo sama-sama tayo dun sa pit or something. Alam na natin yung next doon. Now, like what's nice about inflection, what's nice about translating inflection into gilid-gilid or sagad-sagad is really we're talking about limits here, right? Because I'm not sure if I'm really going too fast, pero medyo deep na rin yung pag-iisip ko sa inflection because I have been listening to pop culture for the longest time. And pop culture now, if you have been listening to Americans, even Biden talks about inflection points, right? The president of America, he talks about that. I just listened to like a recent Jason Bateman podcast with their president, and he talks about that. He talks about that with his grandchildren daw. He meant that we're in an inflection period, a transitional time where talagang yung languages natin nagkakadikit-dikit na nga naman. Sasabi ko lang ngayon to sa Tagalog if you're listening, because yun din naman yung sasabi nila sa English. Mas masarap lang pakinggan, pero kung di mo naintindihan, yun mismo talaga yung nakakabaliw dun. Na problema na rin nila kasi hindi sila magkaintindihan. Pati, nakita nyo naman yung mga memes eh. So, that's really what, if I'm gonna put it there, political syncretism, that's really it, diba? And for the record, I really wanna be able to say here that the only way that I could think of, and maybe you should also think about it, what counters syncretism as a poison? Diba? Kasi to slow things down, kung kulang pala yan or mali pala yan or ideology pala yan, basically you're calling it out as an ideology, Rez. What then would you suggest to help us, the listeners? What would the listener also be able to do? One, it's to acknowledge that I do actually use Nihongo in my mind now. So, when I say listener, reason na din yun. I can't now, personally, I can't now, balik ako dun sa una kong point. I can't now dislocate the syllabication madness of risona and listener. Kasi syempre, alam ko yung ibig sabihin ng resu, pati yung na. Diba? And if you get what I'm saying there, that is actually trending onomatopoeia sound problem for me. Na problema rin sa syncretismo, kasi when you're talking about different languages, yung mismong transition from, kahit pa parehas ng meaning yan, yung mismong transition pa lang, maybe onomatopoeia exists there already, a trend exists there already, especially when there's usage over time rather, and mixed up with literature, authorship, and political agenda, purpose, especially basic stuff like that. Basic stuff that why we use language in the first place, na pag wala tayong tumbok na salita or specific na word para sa isang dinedescribe natin, we use a lot of language to put that in. And that's why nagkaka-labels ng ideologies, kasi in the first place, if you don't call it an ideology, then you'll just beat around the bush with like your language, diba? Kaya nga, hiniram na to ng yung loan words na tinatawag sa mga nagtatagalog, and exactly why I think it's base Tagalog theory now that's really working for us. Kasi nga, napakaraming loan words na. Ang sinasabi ko sa basic na base Tagalog theory na claim in the previous RSP podcast, naka-100 na episodes ako nun, puro ganun lang sinagsabi ko eh. Na, yung English na yan, di Tagalog na lang din yan, diba? Tunog English lang, syempre, pero Tagalog yan. And case in point, makinig ka sa mga ibang nangangaral. Nakikinig ako sa ibang nangangaral eh. 3 taon ko pinakinggan. Akala ko, ibang turo. Na-realize ko, Tagalog lang yung sinasabi, diba? And you must have realized that too. And I don't know if you cried about that. I did fucking cry about that fact. And because I did have the base Tagalog theory at hand. And I share about that. Kasi, ang tagal-tagal ko iniisip, diba? Yun pala yung sasabi ng mga lolo-lolo mo rin, diba? Lolo-lolo rin natin. And no one has a claim on that because it is language, diba? It is some language that's being promulgated or nag-spread na all around the world. Nakasulat naman na din yun na yun yung mangyayari. Only just for this theory na I can want to focus on my authorship, my recording prowess on syncretism. Yung syncretism nga, yun din yung, it's not necessarily pagka-barok. It's also, it's also really inflection points nga, yung parang, why would you even take it there if no one in this speaking culture knows how to reply to that? Kung tatranslate ko yun sa Tagalog, hindi ko dadalhin yung Tagalog ko dun sa sobrang lalim na hindi na maintindihan nung nakikinig sa akin. Although that does happen, pahapyaw, konti-konti, diba? Dahil hindi for example, maybe di mo alam yung word na matumal, or if you drop that into a conservation, if you drop a word like matumal, or just any deep word, any deep Tagalog or dialected word, if you drop that in a conversation, sa panahon ngayon na ideally nagbe-base Tagalog nga yung mga tao, and I think that's what I'm hearing now, ang hirap, diba? You wouldn't put that in a vlog, right? You wouldn't put that on a recording. You wouldn't put that on a business call even, because when you're talking to someone who's trying to buy land for you, for example, you wouldn't be like, tagasan po kayo, or ano po kami, ganito po ang buhay namin, ako po ay isang, you won't talk folk, right? You won't talk folk. You would actually talk basically like an American, or basically like a city person, diba? And which is what I think arguably, dialect supporters kind of are missing out on. Dahil, well, kahit saan ma-expose ka dito, ibang klase na talaga yung salita sa city. Especially mga what I call maybe based interactions. And what I'm trying to argue here, or I'm trying to argue with myself actually, na kung talagang nagpa-practice ka magsalita, maging aware ka kung saan mo sinasalita yung totoo. Meaning the location of your true speak. Not the content. I'm sure content is well and good these days kasi nga madali mag-record eh. Pero yung location ng kung saan yung truth speak mo. Everyone eventually talks about truth, or we like truth, we say truth, totoo yan. But for me, as a recordist, I want to figure out, and I'll end with this for this topic. I want to figure out actually, and I think I have figured out. Of course, I'm going to say it's in my podcast, diba? I don't talk like this. I'm not able to talk like this unless someone na mananadya sort of switches on my bells and whistles to be able to report on a theory, on my theories especially. Pero, napansin ko rin na it takes a while for me to talk like this when I'm with a loved one or with a friend. But I am able to talk like that. Especially yung version nito na flip lang, yung Tagalog lang, yung mas Tagalog lang. Yung mas may punto lang, I guess. Because, and I don't know, that's maybe the dualism that forms around the dualism of yung theory. Though, yung tanong ko ngayon is that also syncretism? Is it also, am I being a syncretist when I'm doing that? Na at some point ba na tunog matalino ako, tulog ilustrado ako, quote-unquote, or tulog magaling ako mag-rant or magaling ako mag-rap, is that already considerably syncretist? It depends, I think, on how people receive it, and it depends on the authorship. Meaning, it depends on the auteur theory din, yung kung paano pinopurpose nung nag-automatic writing. In this case, me just recording. I'll end with that because Vito and Winter are getting noisy. She's getting busy. I'll still record about this in the next video. So, I'll see you guys on the next Neon Gin Crack. Salamat and have a great week. See you guys.
Thank you.